Webb. I'm the manager here at Savannah Refuge. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you guys here to help us celebrate the grand opening of our visitor center and nature store. It's inspiring to see such a great turnout. And it's a good thing to worry about where we're going to park everybody, I can tell you that. The fact that you guys dedicated your Saturday to come out here, and many of you drove a long distance, traveled a long way to come here. That just demonstrates your commitment to the natural resource conservation and the refuge system in general. There are so many people who have helped make this visitor center a reality. Although we don't have time to recognize everyone who has played a role, there are a few special people that I'd like to acknowledge. If I call your name, would you please raise your hand? We have here with us today a couple of former project leaders of the coastal refuges, Savannah Coastal Refuges. Mr. John Davis, right over there in the corner. How you doing, Chief? Mr. Sam Drake is out here somewhere. There he is. And we want to welcome the family of the late Gene Singleton. They're up here in the front. Glad you guys came. We also have here our refuge supervisor from the regional office, Pete Jerome. Special Assistant to Senator Johnny Isaacson, Frank Redmond. Field Rep for U.S. Representative Jack Kingston, Brianna Foran. And also the Honorable Ann Purcell, Georgia State Representative for the 159th District. We're also lucky enough today to have members from the architectural firm that designed the building, Wilson Associates. Amen. And also the construction company that actually built the facility, Dabbs Williams. Thank you all for coming. We have a group of dynamic speakers here behind me on the program, on the agenda for this morning. And following that, we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony on the north entrance there. During the day, we'll be recognizing people that contributed to help this venue come to fruition. And our next speaker, who is also our master of ceremonies, has been instrumental in all the above. When he's not moonlighting as an emergency room physician, you can find him behind the steering wheel of a John Deere tractor on the Refuge. And proud to announce Dr. Rick Shields. Actually, I signed up to drive a tractor, and they made a shopkeeper out of me now. So, but once the weather turns a little bit warmer and the grass starts growing, I hope to get back out on the tractor again. So, again, I'd like to echo Russ and welcome everybody here. It's a beautiful day, a little on the cool side. They said 60s, maybe we'll get there, but at least it's dry. That's what we were dreading in terms of a lot of rain here, make it real difficult for the parking situation. I'm glad you could all be here today. And then when we get done with the program here, I hope you can take advantage of touring the exhibits, touring the hall. We have a number of other activities. I'd like to especially thank also right now my friends from St. Joseph's Candler Health System in Savannah who are providing the catering. Be sure to thank them when you get over there. The food will be over on the other side after the ribbon cutting. I am president of the Friends Group. We've been in existence for about a couple of years now. I know a lot of you are Friends Group members or no Friends Group members, so I'm not going to go into big detail with that. But the role of a Friends Group is really to be the go-between, the person between the Fish and Wildlife Service and the refuge system and the general public. There are lots of dedicated public servants in this. That's one of the reasons I got involved. I met some of the folks here, and I was really impressed with the dedication and the energy that they had for the refuge and for preserving the wild critters and the wild habitat on the refuges. And of course, there are a lot of things that you can't do as a federal employee in terms of lobbying, in terms of speaking up for the refuge system, and that's where the Friends Group comes in. we can advocate for the refuge system at local political entities. I've testified at Fort Wentworth when we were talking about the water treatment plant there, for example. Also, we can raise funds that the service can't by opening up a nature store here, the Gator Hole, as we called it. And I hope you all go in there and are very generous and buy presents for all your family at home when you get done with the program. But the Friends Group is growing. We have over 200 members now. Anybody here who's not a Friends Group member, I'd encourage you to join. There is strength in numbers when we go to these meetings and we go to advocate for issues on the refuges. The more membership, the larger our membership, the louder our voice when we're talking to our representatives. So I would encourage you all to stop by. If you're not a member, pick up a membership application. You can buy a membership today at the Gator Hole inside after we get inside. It's my privilege today to be able to also thank some folks here. About the end of the year, when we were looking at this opening date, and we were really having some questions about where we're going to get the funds to get the store up and running, some people really stepped up and really helped us. And there's an insert in your program that lists some of those folks who really helped us out a lot. I already mentioned St. Joe's Candler. One of the big bonus that we got was from the groups of the Georgia Ornithologic Society, and also from the Colonial Coast Birding Festival. I know some of you may have gone down there in previous years in October to Jekyll Island. And they closed up shop this year. They decided not to have any more of the festivals. And fortunately for us, they had some funds left over that they generously contributed to us. And that really kind of put us over the top and allowed us to get the Gator Hole up and running, and are deeply indebted to the folks from those two organizations. And again, there are other members, other people in including my employer, who I managed to talk into kicking in some money for the organization as well. So I'd like to start out, actually, the first speaker who was going to be on the program was Mayor Bostic from Hardeeville, and he could not be here today. The Hardeeville girls basketball team in about an hour is tipping off for their state championship up in Columbia. So he sent us his regards, and I just wanted to read some of the letter that he sent to Jane. So, Dear Jane, as mayor of Hardeeville, I want to congratulate the Savannah National Wildlife Refuge on the opening of the new visitor center and complex headquarters. As you know, I had every intention of being there personally, but you know what, the basketball championship. Let me say that I look forward to working with you to promote the refuge in the region over the next few years. Tapping into the educational opportunities for our young people is paramount in an age when folks are spending less and less time outside. From sandlappers to snakes to sea turtles, and from alligators and everything in between, there's no finer example of nature's wildlife on display like the South Carolina Lowcountry. And I had to look up sandlappers. I have to admit I wasn't familiar with that term. So anybody know? Yeah, well, actually, the technical definition is people that eat dirt. And there are a lot of different. I looked up a number of different possibilities for where that term came from, and but I think people that ate dirt I thought was a pretty good one to start. So now, for our next speaker, then, I'd like to introduce Helen Tapp, who is the State Director for the Trust for Public Lands in Atlanta. Trust for Public Lands has worked with Fish and Wildlife, the Park Service, the Forest Service, in attempting to preserve wild lands in the United States for a long, long time. For over 20 years, they've been actively conserving the land for people in Georgia through some major programs like the Chattahoochee Greenway, the Atlanta Beltline, and the Greater Georgia Greenway Program. And those programs assist local governments in green space envisioning, in finance, and in land acquisition. Helen is a land and transportation planner with experience both in the public and the private sector. She's passionate about environmental stewardship and sustainable communities. And again, she's worked with the U.S. Department of the Interior, the Atlanta Regional Commission, and was founding executive director of the Council for Quality Growth and the Regional Business Coalition. So I'd like to introduce Helen Tapp.